Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Hello, Yvonne here from My Halal Kitchen with Dr. Saeed, Holistic Mom MD.
Yay! Yay!
Okay, guys. I hope that you're all going to be joining us. Everybody who joined us last week, please come back and share this with your friends, because today we're talking healthy lunch ideas to optimize your immune system. So last week we did breakfast, and the week before that, what did we do? We did an overview of ways to optimize your immune system. So Dr. Saeed and I are doing a webinar series every Wednesday at the same time, which is 11:30 a.m. Chicago time, Central Time. And we're going to talk about all these different ways to optimize your immune system. So every week is a different focus. And you guys are giving us really good ideas about things that you want to hear from us. So we're just adding on to our list of really good topics. So keep those ideas coming. If you, throughout the session, think of something that you want to hear, we are taking note and we're just adding it to the next week. So we were only planning to do this for like a month or two, right?
Yeah, I know.
So
it's been awesome. You guys, your guys' feedback has been amazing. So this is exciting.
Yes. So we're just, we were thinking just to do this a couple months, and then we decided, well, there's so many other topics people want us to cover, so we are going to do that, inshallah. So I think we're going to be doing this for the long haul. So just to reintroduce you guys to who we both are, I write the blog My Halal Kitchen. Dr. Madiha Saeed writes Holistic Mom MD, and she wrote the book The Holistic RX. So what we've done is we're combining my recipes, her scientific medical knowledge, know-how. We're putting this together in our series, and we're working on a new book together. So we're going to, it's like these two books are going to have a baby, right? We're going to really combine the power of the knowledge and the know-how. So through our series, you're really helping us to refine all of those ideas and telling us what you want to know. So let's get started, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because we've been talking a lot about lunches and food, right?
Yes.
And so we would love to hear your guys' comments and questions, comments, concerns. We want to hear it all. So we can dive right in.
Yes, please like it and share it. Thank you. Who just said that? Sravanti? I hope I'm saying it right. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Please like it and share it.
Please like and share, like and share. Yes. We need to create a revolution of healing foods.
The world and how everybody eats and gets healthy, and not just for a trendy purpose, but for real, for longevity, for something sustainable, something everybody can do. You're a busy mom of 4. I don't have that situation. So, we're combining, both like, all this traditional cooking knowledge with the conveniences of the busy mom life and, just people who don't have the busy mom life. So this is for everybody, Muslim, non-Muslim, everybody, just wants to get healthy. We, of course, do everything in a halal way, but we hope everybody who's listening can just really, kind of find something very useful, very, beneficial to your mind, body, soul. Because I know I love what you always talk about, Madiha. You're always into that whole, holistic approach to life. But today's focus is lunch. So I think,
oh my God, who doesn't love lunch? So I hope you guys share and like this video as you join me and Yvonne on our lunch date.
So she has a big spread. I have one recipe focus. So I think you're going to get started and you're going to talk about all your big spread there. So you want to just put the screen on just you so that.
Okay. But let me know when you need me to bring it on you then.
Yeah, when it's time for my recipe. Now you're on with me.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go back to just.
There we go. Okay. Oh, I'm so honored you guys are joining me today. This is so exciting. I know like Yvonne is super busy. I'm super busy. Like a little bit about my background. I was born and raised in Naperville, Illinois. Been here all my life, and now I'm a new. I mean, I'm not new. I'm a mom. A mom of 4 boys. Actually, 5th if you count my husband. And then my in-laws live with me, so I cook for a family of 8 on a daily basis. And I'm an international speaker. I'm a blogger. I write. I'm working on our 4th book together. Me and Yvonne are working on our 4th book together. So if I'm just like you, I am super, super busy. So this is where it is so crazy that we really need to know what to do when we are super busy. Right? And then, so that's super busy. So specifically lunch, when it comes to lunchtime, we talked about breakfast last time, but really vegetables, clean proteins, healthy fats is where it's all about. So instead of focusing on the foods that we can't eat, I want to make sure that you focus on the foods that you can eat. And that is your veggies, clean protein, and healthy fats. So with all of that in mind, let's dive in a little bit deeper about all the benefits and the things that you can really eat for lunch. So this is really, really exciting stuff. So vegetables, clean protein, healthy fats. That is in my goal. This is what I teach my kids. This is what I teach my children, my families, my patients, everybody. So in my mind, when I think lunch, I think quick, fast, calming, like break in the middle of the day that really helps to re-energize and rejuvenate. So we want to make sure that food, remember, helps to heal the gut bacteria, is nutrient dense, and helps to balance hormone levels. So those are the foods that we're concentrating on. And so you still want to have fun in lunch because a lot of us go on lunch dates. We like to go out for lunch. We want something quick in between office hours, really quickly just to re-energize, rejuvenate. But we have to, again, make sure that it heals the gut, is nutrient dense, and balances our hormone level. So let's dive into that. So you can still have tons and tons of fun. And the key thing I think about lunches is prepping beforehand. So therefore, you always have a quick lunch that can be done at any moment. So all of these, I just quickly, because I've had them, I cooked them yesterday, the day before, I had a quick lunch. So for me, for example, like this one is called, this is basically an unwrapped egg roll. Unwrapped egg roll. It's so easy. It's so delicious. What's really cool is in my crazy busy house, I always have rotisserie chickens. And I always have I always have cabbage. So I always cut up cabbage because the antioxidant and the detoxification and the phytonutrients in that are super powerful. The antioxidant, all of the beneficial properties of cabbage, mind blowing. So I always like to add it into my foods. And if my kids, if we can all have vegetables, clean protein, healthy fats, all in one meal, bonus! Shukr, alhamdulillah. So this one, what I do, onion, stir fry in some avocado or olive oil, mostly avocado oil, coconut oil. And then I'll saute the cabbage. And then I'll add in the shredded rotisserie chicken that I have with the little coconut amines. And then look at this. There's noodles in here. What? I didn't know noodles could be healthy. Actually, there's so many alternatives to noodles. In my house, we try to, again, I always try to see if I can pack in any vegetable that I could possibly do or something that's super beneficial. And I can find things like in the market that are easy packed. And like, if you look at the ingredients, it's just water, yam flour, and lime. So for those quick, like the moms or the kids that only eat ramen noodles, this is a great alternative of yam flour because what happens is that you just throw this in. It does not need to be cooked. It's just cut, pour, and now you can add it to your delicious Thai dishes, to your delicious, Chinese noodle dishes, all of that. And another thing, quick, amazing thing, is that, again, stir fries. In my house, a quick stir fry really is healing. And again, I have a stir fry that I cooked yesterday with tons of vegetables. And this one, I have leeks and shiitake mushrooms And we got green beans, we got broccoli sprouts, basically carrots, the bell peppers. So here you're getting tons of vegetables, but you're like, hey, what is this? Does this look like a chicken nugget? What? This is actually, yeah, I made these last night, and now the kids are having this for breakfast. And this is what they'll have for breakfast is their chicken nuggets. But how did I do this? Because I always had that extra rotisserie. I added some lentil flour to the chickpea flour or to the chicken, and made basically to the ground chicken and made little chicken nuggets. Again, something for you to enjoy, something for your kids to enjoy. That's already pre-done, and you can really have a lot of fun. Ooh, I made that rhyme. Then you're like, okay, my kids, another option is people are always thinking, okay, pasta. Oh, I want my pasta. You know, I know Yvonne loves her pasta. I love my pasta. So, but in my house, we do a red lentil pastas. So you can get red lentil pastas. If you look at the ingredients, they're just organic red lentil flours. And you always want to make sure that we have tons of, again, that has tons of protein. It's really nutrient dense. So you actually eat a little bit and you feel satiated and not feeling that dragging feeling that you would have. And then the pasta sauce. You're like, so what about the pasta sauce? So in the pasta sauce, I usually put tons of vegetables in the pasta sauce. You can even find pasta sauces with the vegetables all in it. This pasta sauce that I use, remember, you always want to make sure that you look for ones without sugar. And I know that Yvonne has tons of stuff to say about pasta sauce. I'm going to bring her back because I need her. I know we need to talk. Talk about pasta. I need to.
Yes, I have a lot of things to say about pasta. I'm really a purist when it comes to my food. I really like things that are unadulterated, untouched, and very, I won't say plain, but things like pasta sauce really, for me, have to have garlic, basil, minimal herbs. I mean, we don't do a lot of herbs in like Sicilian pasta sauce. We do, the herbs kind of come on top of the, top of the dish. But you have to have the good olive oil, basil, and they do sometimes do a little sweetener, but it might be like a carrot that makes it sweet.
And that's what I've done with this one. I know, like, I found this pasta sauce that I found is actually roasted vegetables. So always look for like the carrots that add the sweetness, because this one has carrots, eggplant, zucchini, onions, olive oil, roasted red bell pepper, leeks, and kale, and garlic, and sea salt.
See, for me, that's a little much. I'm like I said, I'm like kind of a purist when it comes to that, but I get it. It's a good way for moms to like kind of
add in a lot of, and exactly that's what we're trying to do.
And I'm sure everybody's sauce is so different, but it's really just important to make sure the oils are healthy, because nothing is worse for, I don't buy jarred pasta sauce like ever, but if I ever have to, if like it's an emergency or something, I always look at the oil. If it doesn't say olive oil, I'm out. It's like,
and then absolutely. And for me, if there's sugar in it, I'm out.
Yeah. Sometimes they put canola oil, sunflower oil. I'm like, oh, it's not supposed to have that. It doesn't taste right. And pasta sauce is really kind of easy to make if you have all those extra tomatoes. Now, I'm not talking about the jarring process, but sometimes if I'm in a really big bind, because I don't like canned anything, like acid is the acidity of tomatoes, and a can just don't mix for me. So good on the jar, glass jar. But you can just like boil some tomatoes, like score the tops, So basically when I say score, what I mean is just,
I need to learn too. It's so much fun.
Put an X in it, in them. I mean, these aren't really, you could do it on the side too, but anyway, you just stick them in some boiling water, maybe for a few minutes, and you take the skins off. That's how you get the skins off, because when you boil it, the skins come off easily. And then you have that tomato without the skin, and throw it back in a pan with a potato masher, or you just chop it.
That sounds so easy. See, I have not gone there yet.
Put that in a blender, or if you have one of those hand mills, like people use them for potatoes and things like that. They're perfect because they get they like kind of mash all of the tomato and the seeds and everything. But we don't eat the skins. I mean, even in turkey, they really don't eat the skins. They're kind of hard to digest, I think. But anyway, I mean, it's just so easy. I think that sometimes we overcomplicate things, and it's kind of like easier to grab a jar. But you know, if you have tomatoes and not sauce, don't freak out because you can stuff.
Okay, who wants Yvonne to teach us how to make sauce next time for lunch? You did it! Yay!
Yeah, I think we're
here for you guys. What do you guys want Yvonne to teach us how to cook?
Are we doing dinner next week, right?
Either the next week or the week after. So
right, I'm going to do snacks next week.
Yeah. So whoever is, this is where we want your comments, you guys. I know I want Yvonne to teach you how to make pasta sauce.
Oh yeah, I mean, hello Italian is my thing, you know. I have a whole section on Italian, just Italian.
We got lots of people saying me. Yay!
Yeah, you guys, so there's a whole section on halal Italian cuisine in my cookbook, and also in the beginning I have a section on pizza sauce and pizza dough and the pizza sauce and everything, because those are important things to know how to make in life.
Okay, I'm learning it. For me, I'm like, I haven't gotten there yet, but that's something I really want to learn. So that's so exciting.
Yes.
And if there's something that you guys want out there, so please let us know in the comments what you guys want us to do and what you guys want to learn.
Linguine with mussels. I don't know if we were talking about doing a fish episode when before we started, because it's very healthy. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff in here. My Italian cuisine. Couldn't do this book without Italian cuisine. So.
No, we need it, and it's going to be a big part of our next book too. So this is why it's going to be huge.
Okay.
I did, and then I have, and then I got. So we talked about stir fries. Is there a stir fry that you like? What is your favorite stir fry? And then I'm going to go to Mexican.
When it comes to Asian food, I like pad thai. So that's not really considered a stir fry, but you can. So this is my recipe for shrimp pad thai, which you can do.
Very similar to my unwrapped egg roll.
Oh, good. Yeah. And I have a recipe for homemade soy sauce in my book, because soy sauce has typically the real soy sauce has alcohol, and the fake soy sauce is it's got fake ingredients, and I don't like that. So I have a really healthy soy sauce alternative recipe. You would think it wouldn't, but it smells and tastes just like soy sauce. So
wow. Okay, who wants Yvonne to teach us that?
So for your open egg roll, I think
that would be amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, for me at home, I use coconut aminos. But I really feel like the one that you would do with the molasses, again, so many more nutritional benefits. We talked about last time. So go to the last videos. We talked about the benefits of molasses.
Yeah, and I think also this just goes to show that you can get these things in the stores. But for those of you who can't, I just like to make things homemade. I like things from scratch, and I'm kind of like that survivalist kind of person. I like to know how to do things myself. And I think, we can be both. We can,
absolutely.
You brought me some coconut aminos, and they were really good. So if in a pinch, I'll use them. But, when I have the time, or if, people are, during COVID, we're stuck in the house. Stop freaking out, and just, you have an ingredient, you can mix, and, you can make your own stuff. I think that's what this situation has taught us. Be more self-reliant. Alhamdulillah, we have the stores, and we can go and we can get. But in Turkey, I couldn't find those kind of things.
No.
I could find the molasses, but I couldn't find coconut aminos. So the good thing was I knew how to make that stuff, right?
And that's why it's so super important to do both, because a lot of the things I talk about, you won't be able to find in different countries.
Right. And I just think it's good to have the information. You know where to get things when you can, but you also know how to make. When you know how to make something yourself, you're just so much more self-empowered. And that's what I think knowing how to cook is. And I also think that's what knowing how to boost your immunity is about too. That's what you're teaching us. So
absolutely.
So
I can go on to the other stuff that I got going on. So we talked about the pastas, that I use lentils and tons of vegetables and homemade pasta sauce. Next time we're going to learn that. Right?
I think so.
But then the next thing I know that we do quickly in my house is we do tacos.
Uh-huh.
And so tons, if you look, there's lots of greens in this taco shells.
Uh-huh.
And again, something to look out for tacos, a lot of the corn is genetically modified. So you don't want to do a lot of corn. In some cases for insulin resistance issues, corn actually raises your blood sugar level quite a bit. In my house, again, something that, can't be found everywhere, but it is becoming a little bit more. We use cassava flour. We use cassava flour ones. And again, here is cassava flour, which is just a root vegetable. And avocado oil, pumpkin seed, pumpkin powder, sea salt, and psyllium husk. So either if you want to go for the taco with the corn tortilla, again, super important to make sure that it's organic.
And can you talk about that psyllium husk? Because you find psyllium husk in health food stores.
Yeah, so psyllium husk is amazing fiber for your gut bacteria. So your gut bacteria actually need fiber to really grow and thrive, and that's where the psyllium husk is. So if I can throw that into my kids' meals without them knowing it,
yes.
So here I have like a gut healing meal, tons of vegetables. I put a salsa in. Again, I know you probably make your own salsa. I
never buy the jar.
But so you can put your salsa
in a pinch.
That's why. No, that's why. That's why me and you work so well, right?
Yes. I mean, look, I look at you like, wow, you make your life so much easier sometimes. But I don't have 4 kids to juggle, so it's
and then actually this weekend there was like lots of people at my house, so therefore, I mean, before COVID time, it was 15 to 20 people on a weekend, every other weekend. So this is why
there's a lot of products today. People, a lot of food manufacturers are cleaning up the ingredients and they're making things.
And that's what we want to focus on.
Yeah, because consumers are demanding. So that's great. That's your job as consumers. You guys need to say, clean up the stuff when we're not buying it. So you do a great job of finding those things.
Read labels, right?
You gotta read labels. Yeah.
You have to read labels. The other thing I think that I'm going to quickly, one more thing before I jump to bone broth that we're going to talk about in detail, is a quick 5-second meal that I always have no matter what. And that is, in my house, I always have canned salmon. So I have wild Alaskan pink salmon with nothing else. Always look at the ingredients to make sure that it's only just pink salmon. And again, remember, I live a crazy life. There's a lot of mouths to feed. And so when I don't have something, I'm like, okay, go to the pantry and open a can of salmon. So this is something that I always have. So here we have is canned salmon. Now I'm going to quickly show you how easy this was. I stuck it in like a little jar. Mm-hmm. And I stick in celery. And then you can use, I use like an avocado mayo, which I know you make your own. I have
avocado mayo, but I do buy the avocado mayo sometimes.
Okay, so it's
a recipe for homemade mayonnaise in here.
Okay, you guys, everybody needs to.
Okay, so buy it.
Hey, buy it. Yes. So again, you want to make sure it's non-GMO. It's super clean ingredients. This one just says avocado oil, free range, humane eggs, distilled vinegar, lemon juice, no sugar. There's just spices in here. Again, this is the cleanest mayo that I can find. And you can buy it at Costco. So these are all things that you guys can buy at Costco. So all I really do is, I'll turn this onto mine really quick so we can show you full screen. And then so I just really quickly just add this to my salmon, and that's it. So you just mix this into the salmon. So I got that pretty well mixed in there. So we mix that into the salmon. I always have my garlic salt grinded everywhere. So I just add a little splurge there. You can add black pepper. But again, I've got a crazy busy life also. So what do I do for the kids last minute is that I have them focus on, so at Costco also, remember the products that we were talking about? At Costco, you can find large like almond flour crackers. So if you want crackers, there's so many different options there. So in my house, we always have these large size things. And then guess what? And there's also ones made out of seeds. That is a quick meal. So we have your salmon with, and then some with some crackers. And so easy. And this is like the quickest lunch possible. So this is, again, everybody always has salmon. If you don't have almond flour crackers, again, you can do it with veggies. You can do with vegetables. You can do it with so many other things, like even sweet potato chips you can make at home. And if you're going to do potato chips, there's purple potato chips that you can always dip into your delicious avocado mayo salmon salad.
I want to tell you that I just made a tuna salad yesterday, and the way I do it is sometimes I don't put mayonnaise. I just do olive oil, lemon, olives, peppers, like either like a jar. Do I have any? Like a jar of the roasted red peppers. I feel like I'm cooking. A jar of roasted red peppers, or just, you know, the fresh kind, garlic, and then your herbs. Like I do dill, parsley, a little oregano. This is like my go-to, because in Turkey I didn't buy mayonnaise there. It was expensive, and sometimes I felt too lazy to just make it. But you just really need the olive oil.
Absolutely.
And, oh my gosh, this with like a side of like a couple of boiled eggs, a salad, very, very filling. I mean, I would fill up for lunch making this. And it was a constant.
Olives.
Yeah. And if you guys watch a video on the bonito fish that I did myself, bonito is kind of flakes like tuna. So you can do this with the salmon. You can do this with tuna, bonito fish. You can do this with, even if you buy like a mahi at Trader Joe's and you put it in some, like poach it in some water, it will flake. So you guys don't have to even buy the can. Just get a fish that flakes and do the same thing.
Delicious. Oh, so easy. No matter where you are, you can easily make this alternative just with olive oil and some olives and some vegetables. Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious, delicious, delicious. So let's dive into the now one part of the meal that I think that we should all be eating specifically for lunch. And who doesn't love soup? Oh my gosh. So soup is one of those things that I think every culture has soup, right, Yvonne?
Oh yeah, chicken soup for the soul is everywhere in the world. I think every culture has their own way of making chicken soup. Everybody does. No matter where you go in the world, it's like call it the penicillin or something. Like I've heard that many times, but my mom, every time you're sick, your mom says make chicken soup. Every culture's mother says the same thing. And why? You know, from a medical standpoint, why is that?
Because of the fact that one, that it is, so overview, that it helps to treat leaky gut syndrome. It helps to improve joint health with all the collagen and all the bioavailable nutrients in there. Also helps to boost your immune system, reduces cellulite, basically it helps to heal and seal the gut. All those chondroitin and the, all glutamine and the zinc and all those bioavailable nutrients that really help to calm that gut lining and helps you then overcome even food intolerances and allergies. So I think bone broth is one of those key pieces that is absolutely necessary, not even just all the time, but specifically during this time to boost your overall immune system.
Yeah, I think now I see bone broth in the stores. Even in Turkey, they're selling bone broth, chicken bone broth, beef bone broth, and everywhere you go, it's expensive, because it's a valuable food product. But I learned something really new in Turkey about myself and my own cooking. I was really busy. I had, I was home a lot working like I am here, but I work from home.
It's 10 o'clock.
And sometimes I would get the whole chicken. And this is how this recipe kind of developed. I used to do a lot of roasted chickens. And one day I just didn't feel like roasting the chicken because it was hot and I don't know. You know, you get in those moods and you're like, you're trying to think of something different. So I took the whole chicken, threw it in a stock pot, and I boiled it for maybe 20 minutes. And I took it out and then I stuck it in the oven and roasted it. And it was like the best chicken I had. It was so good. I added olive oil and some herbs and stuff like that. But one time you know, I threw it in the pot and I left it too long. I don't know. I got busy. I forgot about it. And I had all this, you know, this big chicken, all the bones. And I thought, oh, the broth was so golden. Let me do something about it. Well, it can be kind of overwhelming when you're dealing with bones, right? Because you're dealing with bones. You got to pull it all out. But I kind of sped up the recipe by doing this without the whole chicken. So I started this with the whole chicken, got this big one, and I spent a lot of time, you know, deboning it. But then what I would do is I thought, well, the broth was so good, I can just do this with half a chicken or even like chicken pieces that have the bone in. So one of the quickest and most delicious recipes, I was even doing this in the summer, even though it's hot, it just sometimes, like when I wasn't feeling good, it just boosted my energy. So what I do in the morning, like let's say after breakfast. So those of you who like work from home or you're home on the weekends, or you want to do this at nighttime and then have it ready for the next day, like to pack lunches or whatever. I do, even if it's just like 3 or 4 pieces of chicken with bone in, I throw it in a pot of water, cool water. So I don't fry anything. I don't fry any onions or anything like that. You just fresh water, chicken, and my bay leaves. Oh, my bay leaves. These are my bay leaves from the trees in Turkey. I brought a piece of turkey back home with me. It makes everything smell good and very aromatic. Some garlic, maybe 2 or 3, whatever you have. About half an onion. I just roughly chop it, throw it in. So it's like nothing is precise. You're just taking what you've got, throwing it in, salt and pepper. Some people don't salt and pepper their broth because they want to keep the broth like kind of neutral. You can do that too. You can wait and say, I'm going to save the broth and then add it to other things. So you don't want to salt it. But because I know I'm going to have this as a soup. So this isn't just broth. This is my soup. Mm-hmm. So I'm cooking that for like 30, 35, 40 minutes. And basically now the meat is ready. So what I'm going to do is take all this out. And it's going to be really hot, obviously. So it's going to fall off the bone, right? It's boiled chicken. It's going to fall off the bone. And all I do, and it's kind of hot, so I can't really do it at this second. All I'm going to do is take those big chunks of meat and chop them up really fine. This is so easy, it's ridiculous. Like that's what I mean. Like, it's like, do I really need to like explain this whole recipe in very
yes, it's simple.
Because it's so simple, I feel silly in a way. But basically just chop it all up, throw it back in, and it's like the most delicious soup. And then
so simple too.
So simple. And then in Turkey, we always put some lemon on top because it just kind of takes a little bit of that fat or grease. Like it makes it easier to digest. It tastes really good. I never really got used to lemon in my soups until I came to Turkey, but it's really like a good way of eating it and digesting that fat, you know, because a good meat product is going to have good fats, right? And I get the skin on the chicken. On all my chicken, I get the skin on because the skin has good collagen. You need that, right? And the reason you are buying it with the bone is because you're getting that calcium in that broth. So for this one, when I make like a straight broth, a clear broth, I add some vinegar to pull the calcium out of the bones. But when I'm making a soup, I don't do that just because, I don't know, sometimes I just feel like it might taste a little vinegary, but it doesn't really. But I don't do it when I'm doing this soup. But anyway, so.
No, it's so beneficial because remember the collagen helps form this elastin and other compounds that are responsible for, guess what? You're keeping your skin beautiful and texture and appearance.
Yes,
add it into your foods.
I watched, maybe years and years ago, I watched a program about women in Japan. who it was about beauty and beauty tips and stuff, and it was interesting. One woman showed how she kept like chicken with the collagen in her refrigerator, and she would make it and she would eat it often because she would say it was really good for skin. And I thought, well, so interesting, because now you can buy collagen powders everywhere, and they're like $40 for a container, but just eat chicken or eat, meats that give you that collagen. That's really so great for your joints, your
absolutely
skin. So,
and not even just remember this entire series about talking about your immune system and the immune system function.
Yes.
And, a lot of people, this is bone broth is one of those key gut supportive nutrients that really supports a healthy immune system function. Yes. Because remember, there's a lot of people with leaky gut syndrome, and we can talk about that. We talked about it in the
first video.
Very first video.
Watch the first video, because that's where all the overview is of why we're doing this, right?
Absolutely. Because remember that bone broth then helps restore that gut function, helps to support your immune system function, healthy inflammatory response. It has that collagen, the gelatin, the amino acids, proline, glutamine, arginine that all help to, that all help to seal these openings in the gut lining and support gut integrity. So again, it really helps support the inflammatory response. It helps you have a normal immune system function. Bone broth also, now another cool thing is, did you know that it also helps you sleep? It boosts energy through the day. So this is why I love having my bone broth during the lunchtime hour and my soups.
Yes.
It really helps to boost energy through the day, and it helps support a healthy mood. Now, how cool is that?
We all need that, right?
Yes.
So I just want to show everybody if they can see, and maybe I should go full screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so, so this is how I put it up. You guys all see that? So basically, tiny top. That's what I'm doing. And then I put it back because I heard that. Get like a Greek or Turkish oregano, because they are very strong, and you want that kind of like medicinal taste. It's almost like medicine, really.
Yum.
Some parsley and so on. So I already did that in the beginning, but let me show you. Really, I'll use a clear bowl so that you guys can see. But I mean, I would add more meat to this, but I'm not done doing that. But basically, that's it. And then, just a squeeze of lemon on top. And you can check it for salt, to see if it's salted the way that you prefer. It's just it smells so good. It smells like healthy and like, just soothing and everything. It's got the chicken and the lemon. Oh, it's got to cool off a little bit. So that's how simple it is, you guys. It's really just boil the chicken, put the spices that you want, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, then take the meat out, chop it up, throw it back in, let it heat up again, and take it out, serve it with lemon. I mean, that's it. That's it.
Woo! I can smell it over here. Can you smell it where you are? Yeah. If you can smell it from over here. Yay!
Oh my God. I'm having for lunch, and I'm gonna feel like energized, right? Because it's not gonna drag me down. I don't really have this with any bread. I don't even have this with bread. I mean, you can, but anyway, I mean, you can make this ahead of time. Send it to if your kids' school when they are back in school. I mean, we're in the summertime now, but some people are think soup is just for when you're sick or just for when it's winter time. And I'm a big soup eater, like any time of the day. or any time of the year. I love soups. That's, you know,
Absolutely.
hydrating. I have, especially when you're fasting and you break your fast. I mean, they're just so
yum. Yeah. Absolutely, because remember, so we talked about gut healing. It optimizes your inflammatory responses.
Yeah.
And also, did you also know that it's a really powerful detoxifying agent?
Yeah.
And
Why
so to promote? Because what happens is it contains a potassium and glycine, which all supports this both cellular and liver detoxification. So it actually, in some ways, in some ways, this bone broth really boosts detoxification, especially because you're adding it's supplying sulfur, especially when you add like garlic to it, like what you just did.
Oh, yes.
You add garlic and herbs to your broth, and then if you add vegetables. In my house, I love to create, so in this one, I remember I first had this at Yvonne's house when she took a delicata and she like made me a delicata soup. And then I added, so in here is like a full-fledged delicata, and with butternut squash, carrots, celery, and cauliflower. So I basically just threw it all in there. Just what you said, simple ingredients, just bay leaf and salt and salt.
You guys, all you need in your kitchen, I'm telling you, is a stock pot and a blender or immersion blender. I didn't have a blender in Turkey. I had an immersion blender, which I brought with me in my suitcase because I knew that was something that was simple to take and, you know, I could use, but I kind of blew it out because the conversion issues. But I use that thing almost every day because everything that, you know, when you have vegetables and fruits and stuff, especially when you need to use them up and you have them in abundance, that's
absolutely
a great day. I think people see the squash and they feel a little intimidated, like, what do I do with this thing? It's very hard. But you just boil them or you throw them in the oven. When you cut them in half, throw them in the oven. You need to process them. I mean, we look at processed food in the stores or in, you know, boxes have been way more processed than what you would do at home. And only your hands are on it and only your family. So, you know, I think when you touch those ingredients and you manage them yourself and you handle them, you learn what to do with it. You learn what your own tastes are. You learn what your family likes. And then once you make that yourself just one time, like if I could challenge anybody, it would be like, make a homemade soup out of a vegetable yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, put the recipes on MyHelloKitchen.com because I love soups. But you do that once, even if you make mistakes, you feel empowered because you cracked the nut, literally. Like you cracked that.
Absolutely.
And you did it. And you're going to feel like, wow, this isn't as hard as it looks.
No, and actually that's what you showed me, Yvonne, when me and you you did this first in front of me. Because I always have, just like you, I always have this broth. But sometimes in my family, the kids just won't eat it. And this is why adding the squashes to it, all the vegetables to it, adds that sweetness. I had it at your house. I'm like, oh, I've never, actually before that, I had never had a delicata. I had never had a delicata. You broke my delicata, you know. I was so amazing, seriously.
Only a doctor could say that.
Now I can't have enough. And remember that all these vegetables, especially with the bone broth combined, has like glutathione, which is a super lowers oxidative stress, helps your inflammation. So just like what Yvonne is saying, add those vegetables to the soups because remember it has such immune boosting properties. And just like you, I promise you, I won't have enough either.
You know, and also want to say about the chicken soup. I mean, some people might not agree with this or they might not think it's tasty, but because I'm boiling that skin, I actually cut up the skin very fine and throw it back in.
So do I.
It's tasty and it's got that collagen that you need. You know, like and I read some studies that said like the skin is actually detoxifying agents, and I was like, amazing. I had a lot of organ meat too in Turkey because things are halal and it was readily available and very cheap. And I read that those kinds of things actually detox your body. I was shocked because how does organ meat detoxify your body? I mean, that is amazing. So there's so much for us to learn and to educate but what I say to people all the time is go back to the basics. Think about maybe not how our mothers even cooked, because I mean that was, you know, for me in the 80s, everything was still processed and boxed. My mom's a great cook, but there were always a lot of, you know, packaged things and maybe not necessarily the best ingredients in those things. Mm-hmm. I think about my grandmother and great grandmothers, like they cooked the whole animal for a reason, and they were healthy and strong and lived into their 90s. And you know, I think we have a lot to learn. We have to go back to the basics and go back to some traditional foods. You know, I see people on here from Singapore, from lots of places, like go back to your family's roots and ask people, like, what are some of the recipes that they made that were considered longevity recipes, or like they maybe not said that, but people knew there was ancient wisdom in what foods were good for what ailments. Foods were good, like they could spot somebody that looked weak and maybe give them a chicken soup or a broth, right? I mean, my grandmother always said, like, this will make you strong. Basically, it's going to, and I think there's even a saying that, like, chicken broth or broths can, like, bring back the dead, you know?
Yep.
Meaning, like, basically someone can be so sick and, you know, help them get some minerals back in their body that are needed. So, you know, very important stuff. Ancient wisdom. Tap into it.
Tap into it. And again, it doesn't, and if you look to see what we did today, is that me and Yvonne kept it super simple.
Yes, super.
Everything that, and this is, I think, what's specifically during lunchtime, and I know any quick meal of the day, sometimes we just go through the drive-through and just put anything in our bodies as we're driving. That is what we really need to stop. Because if you looked at, and this is, I think, what me and Yvonne are both trying to really accomplish here, is that show that every ingredient counts. We're like, I don't think there's a single ingredient in our foods that we don't know why we're putting it in there.
Exactly.
So it has healing. Every ingredient that we use, even during breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, has a purpose. And that is, and it can be super simple. So I mean, if you look, Yvonne's soup looks delicious, and it was so simple. All of these things that I did, delicious.
I don't really like complicated foods. I think, you know, maybe I'm very drawn to the Mediterranean diet, Mediterranean food, and that's, I mean, I know that that's touted around the world, and that's not the only healthy diet around the world. But I think what's beautiful about lots of traditional diets is the simplicity. There's abundance in your variety, but the cooking is really simple. So don't mix up abundance with complexity. I think we've overcomplicated things with too many options and products, and let your stomach tell you what it wants too. Really listen to your body's cravings. For example, I was feeling kind of really worn out recently, and I was feeling it in my throat, and I know sometimes I feel like my thyroid is kind of off. And I know, for example, I know when my body needs iodine. I just know that. Oops, sorry. So I went and bought some, what is it called? CLG. What is that called?
Yeah. My kids love seaweed.
Seaweed. Seaweed salad. And instead of taking a pill, or, I just know what my body needs. Mm-hmm. That's not the answer for everybody, but I went to an Asian store. I bought the seaweed, and I had a batch of it, a salad of it, and I really felt better. So I think we have to really pay attention to what's going on. If we're overtired, what are you eating? Maybe write a journal of your food habits and your feeling. Not just your emotional and physical, because it really has. What you put in is what comes out, in the sense of like your physical, your emotional, all of that. So really, we have to be more mindful, and we have to know the tools to self-correct.
Absolutely. And you remember, again, every ingredient has a purpose, and all of those can help you feel. So real simple ingredients can help you feel super powerful.
Right.
Happy ingredients are, guess what? They're going to make you fill in the blanks.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to finish my soup, and I'm going to have this
You are what you eat.
I haven't had lunch yet, so I'm gonna have this.
Yeah, I know, delicious. Did you want in the next like 5-10 minutes? Did you want to answer some of these questions that we got?
Well, someone Saima is asking, what else can I add with the broth for lunch? That's a good question.
So, I mean, for me, like, I mean, the soup in and of itself is so super powerful.
Yeah.
But again, just what Yvonne was saying, some people like to do it with like a starch. In my house, we do it with crackers, and you could do like chili or soups, and we do it with different types of crackers. But I think just adding vegetables into it, right? Just another stir fry, like a salad. Like we always have soup and salad, so very similar.
In my house, we do a side of olives. Yeah, so it's a side of olives, a little bit of cheese. I mean, again, it's the Mediterranean spread. It's olives, it's cheese, it's, you know, some healthy bread, rustic bread, you know, not too much of it. But again, the soup is so filling that, you know, your eyes are bigger than your stomach, and you sit down. I'll have 2 bowls of this though, because there's a lot of broth. So I hardly ever just have 1 bowl of this. It's just that, you know, it's just that good. I mean, it's not gonna pack on the pounds or something. It's really
no. And actually, I think that we have been so equipped to eat so much more.
Yeah.
But me and Yvonne are really trying to get at is that when you eat nutrient dense, you actually eat. You won't need all of that extra calories per se. Your body will feel so energized with just this bowl of soup or just with a salad, and all these quick things that I've even put.
And you don't need as much meat as you think, right? You don't need as much meat as you. That is one thing that I have learned in Turkey was that, you know, and that's just for the Mediterranean as a whole, is that there isn't a lot of meat being eaten. It's a lot of vegetable and broth. I mean, that's how they feed a lot of people. And, you know, I think in the West, the meat consumption is just way too high, in my opinion. We just don't need that much. You can get protein in a lot of other ways.
For different ways.
And if there's one meat I would consider having more of, it really is the chicken for the broth and everything. You know?
Absolutely. And that way, that's going to keep you satiated and give you all those nutrients and vitamins that you need.
And hydrated, right? Because we know like how important that is to have.
Absolutely. And then so Adisa says, how do you cook red lentil pasta so it doesn't fall apart? There's lots of different red lentil pastas that I use out there. You can buy them at Trader Joe's. You can get them at your local grocery store. And for those in America, in the United States, remember always look to see if they're, you know, organic red lentil. This is a panini that I have, or penne. Sorry, penne. See, I don't even know these lentil words. These are penne pasta. This is like a penne, and then this one I have was just a spaghetti. But really, you just cook it the same way. It takes about, I cook it a little longer. You just boil the water, you know, cook it for 7 to 10 minutes in the boiling water, just like you would do any pasta, and then just check it for tenderness. This is why I have Yvonne, because I have no idea what I'm like. You just check it, like I just check it, and to make sure that that's the right consistency that works for my family, and then we just, you know, take it out. So it's really simple and easy.
I think you guys need, definitely, we keep saying this, but I think everybody needs to watch the very first episode we did, and maybe we should post that link somewhere, because, you know, you talked a lot about why wheat is not a really good option to have. And I mean, that killed me a little bit inside because of being Italian and wanting pasta, and breads. And, but you made really good points about, you know, the problem with wheat, even the non-GMO organic stuff. So
absolutely, it's making people sicker. And that's why I've gone to different alternatives here to show you that there are different alternatives. You can still have fun. And I've used this same type of approach to help heal people with lots and lots of chronic issues, with God's help, obviously. He's doing the healing. But the thing is, like, if once you guide people and once you nourish their body with real ingredients, and that was everything that we just talked about: vegetables, clean protein, healthy fats, and then making sure that you're still getting their bone broth in there. I recommend, in my clinic, I recommend 1 cup of bone broth per day for every patient that walks through the door. So this is how key it is to help your body heal itself. I know that we're getting lots of questions about our books. Did you want to?
Yes. I have shared links to mine. So Madiha, you know, please.
I will add links to that one too.
Yeah. So I think that's, yeah, we are, they're asking what soup it is. That's it.
Okay, perfect. I think that we're ready to go. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what kind of things that you're interested in learning about from the medical doctor and the chef extraordinaire.
So just to reiterate our books, for those of you who are coming on late, my book is My Halal Kitchen, Halal Recipes Globally Inspired. And Madiha's book is The Holistic RX, so she's written other books as well. But we are putting our heads together, her medical expertise and my cooking and recipe know-how, and we're combining our information to work on our next book. So we're actually almost there. We're almost done. So
excellent. Yay! So again, can't wait. Please like and share this video. Spread this word out there. Yeah. Please join us next Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday we're going to do dinner ideas, right?
So next week we're going to do dinner ideas.
But, you know, we're going to do something a little bit more elaborate.
Whatever you guys want Yvonne to cook, give us it. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, let me know. If you want pastas or, you know, pasta sauce. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, let's see what they all come up with. This will be so super exciting. So remember, like and share this video, and we will see you guys.
Thank you guys. And if you want to add more comments, you can you know, add them in the comment below. We are always checking back on our videos the same day just to see if there's any leftover questions we haven't answered. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Bye.